it's one of those movies that is like you said, it's like this feast for your eyes, and it's morning.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's wonderful to chat with you. Thank you so much for the time.
Of course, yeah.
Zootopia 2 is so much fun. It is so funny and just such a beautiful, beautiful film, like visually stunning. What was the greatest challenge for you for taking us back to Zootopia?
Oh, I found myself doing a lot of Gary the snake animation. So I ended up getting to spend most of my time in the film with him, getting to know him, getting to play with him. And um, famously, snakes are very difficult to do in animation. It's not my first time animating a snake, but it was definitely the funnest time because the amount of like artistry and engineering that went into that character just to make it possible was really astounding. So the animation supervisor Adam Green and the rigger on him, Chris Pedersen, like they built this incredible like character that really I just got to kind of play with and sort of bring to life. Like I feel like I got the easy part of the job and just like having fun and bringing Huy Quan's like charm and charisma and putting him up on screen. But that it was, at the end of the day, like it was still challenging. Like a snake is always going to be challenging because you can't shoot reference yourself to kind of figure it out. You kind of have to invent, the performance from the ground up. And snakes are just like they're just very complex. But it's a fun challenge. It's like a puzzle.
Well, in creating this character too, and I want to be careful how I say this, but I have always had an aversion to snakes as well. But Key is so adorable in this film, and the character is so wonderful. What's it like working with him to bring that personality into a character like that?
Well, I think you just said it. Like, you don't even really need to know Key to like, you just hear his voice, and there's this like, it just disarms you. So, like, I hope that for somebody who does have an aversion to snakes, when you hear that voice come out of his mouth, you kind of had fall in love with him. And, I hope that carries through the film because, like, that was sort of the intent. Like, I think he's got this wonderful, like, personality in his voice that it just comes out. And like we really just tried to like hang on to that in the performances and just try to bring as much of that charisma and so much of that like disarming charm to like in that character. Because yeah, like, at the end of the day, people are, my dad's afraid of snakes. I've always been more of like a reptile kid myself, but I totally get it. And like, there's a certain moment when there's a hug that happens, and my goal was to, if anyone is watching this that doesn't like snakes, I want them to want to go hug a snake after this.
I'm glad you said that. I had that reaction, but then I caught myself.
Okay.
Uh, my 10-year-old absolutely will.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just such a fun project, and like across the board, it's such an immersive world. Probably one it seems like that for one of Disney, like of the Disney films. This is one of the more immersive visually projects that we've seen. And was that a challenge to step that up in this particular film?
Yeah, I wasn't along for the ride on the first one, so I can't speak firsthand about anything that happened in the first one. But just on the second one, like Marsh Market, for instance, the big wet marshy biome that all the pinnipeds, the walruses, the seals, the sea lions all live in. I remember when we kind of got the first big piece of that sequence, and we just had every animator descend upon that sequence and try to come up with like interesting slices of life for the background, interesting things like this characters would do. And like everyone was trying to one up each other with like entertaining each other and make each other laugh. Like it's one of those movies that is like you said, it's like this feast for your eyes, and it begs to be seen multiple times because you want to catch these things in the background because there is like every frame has something else going on that you can see. And I was seeing a lot like, I just watched it on Monday for the first time, all put together with full sound and lighting and all that stuff. And I was seeing so much stuff for the first time, even though I had seen a lot of these sequences, dozens of times. I was still catching things in the background that, and to me, it just makes the world feel alive. And when you leave the theater, you imagine that that world is carrying on and life is still happening. And I love those types of movies where like the world feels so fully realized and just, alive.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, and with this one in this particular film, with this the idea, I love the idea of being better together.
Yeah.
Is a phrase that's thrown around. I was wondering what that means to you.
Well, when you work in a studio with, you know, immense amount of talent, immense amount of backgrounds, like it takes an army of incredibly talented artists and, other team members to pull this off. That like really, it's something that we talk about within the animation department. Like all of us together are better than any one of us alone. And, it's really the alchemy that the team brings. It's the ideas and how we elevate each other's craft and how we elevate each other's ideas in the room. Like that's how these things get made. They're not made in isolation. We don't just toil away at our desks without showing at each other. It's a very, very collaborative process building these films and creating these films. Doesn't matter what level you're at. You have the chance to affect the film in a really, really big way, and that comes from a bunch of different people all slamming together and just, particles of creativity and electricity coming off of that. And that's sort of what we hope ends up on screen.
You can absolutely feel that, and even at the end, it says a film by everyone at Disney Animation, and you can feel that team dynamic. And honestly, Kevin, thank you so much for the time. I know we're out of time, but I really appreciate the chance to chat with you. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you so much. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.